It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel credit, stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Hockey players are a different breed, man. Them guys, for as much as they are reportedly, as much as they party outside of the games and off the ice, they're in amazing shape, and they just tend to stay that way.
Yeah, I always thought that everyone always holds football players up as the ultimate specimens, and I say nay. I said it's the hockey players, because they have to be just as rough and tumble as the NFL guys. I'm sure getting hit by hockey players, just getting chucked in the boards is probably just like getting hit by Ray Lewis in his prime, but they got to do it all on skates.
Exactly, and have hand-eye coordination, and hockey's not for the unathletic, that's for sure.
Or pussies.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of guys, when we started playing hockey, whether it was either on the ice or just roller hockey, we were young, we were stupid, so we went full tilt with it. And after about the first day or two of us starting and trying to playing drop in with big boys who actually play, you could see the people who are like, yeah, I'm just gonna go play this on PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah. Men and the boys got separated real quickly.
Yeah, and then dumbasses like me were the ones who were out there taking a beating. But hey, I was like Rudy. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna take this beating, but I'm gonna keep playing. That shit was fun, though.
If I saw you coming at me on rollerblades, I get the fuck out the way. He ain't hitting me.
That was only when I was 200 pounds. So
I was wondering what kind of dental plans the NHL has to have. Like, fucking, if Delta Dental just loves to see those guys come in. Hey, come on in.
After...
You sent one of my kids to college.
After the lockout in the mid-2000s, I don't even know if the team has to carry dental for them anymore.
Damn, it's cold-blooded.
Yeah. Their union took a major hit with that one. But that lockout / strike, whatever you want to call it, yeah, the players lost big time. I mean, the NFL, NHL lost, but NHL lost before then because...
wasn't it Bettman pretty much going, where are you going to go play? I mean,
to an extent, but Bettman also tried to flex his nuts with ESPN, and ESPN was like, we'll just drop you.
Yeah, later, dick. Have fun on Versus.
Exactly. The Outdoor Network.
Yeah, OLN. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah, at first. Yeah, and they were like, seriously, we'll drop you, because unless it's one of like 5-6 teams, or maybe a good rivalry at the time, World Series of Poker pulls in the exact same amount of fucking ratings as you guys do. So you're not threatening us at all. And Bettman, coming from a basketball background, had that mentality, and which he's pounded into the NHL, and that's, you can argue, I hate Bettman. He's a piece of shit in my book. He should not be commissioner, whatever.
He's got to be almost retired. He's been like commissioner forever, hasn't he?
I don't know. I think that shit's like Supreme Court justice until he drops dead.
Until he dies?
Yeah.
Like Al Davis?
He has definitely screwed up the sport, in my opinion. I mean, you take teams out of cities in Canada who are going to support them through thick and thin, no matter what.
Phoenix.
And Atlanta. And Florida has 2 fucking teams. And you're going to give Vegas a team. It's like, okay, look, you still have Quebec. You still have... Winnipeg got their team back. But, I mean, we talked about this before. You still have the Northeast in America. They could definitely do with another team somewhere in Wisconsin, somewhere in North Dakota, somewhere around there.
Yeah, let's give Green Bay a second professional team. Well, they got the football team, but they could support a hockey team.
Why don't you go where people actually understand hockey? Because, I don't know, 6 months out of the year, fucking every lake is frozen over that's near them.
Yeah, you're telling me in New England, one team, the Boston Bruins. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, meow. You got Hartford right there. We talked about the first show. Providence. Yep. I bet you could put one in goddamn Portland, Maine. I bet you could put a pro hockey team in Syracuse, New York.
Oh, Syracuse. There was the Rochester Americans and the Syracuse Crunch. And those were, I believe, ECHL teams, East Coast Hockey League, and OHL teams. And they actually drew. It was nuts. So I knew one of the guys that played for him. And I was like, so what's it like? And he's like, honestly, it's not that bad. We actually draw. We have fans.
Because that's what people do up there.
Like,
yeah, you're
crazy.
right. And where's your Milwaukee hockey team? Huh?
Exactly.
You're insane.
If you look at
Gary
at NCAA hockey,
put a hockey team in San Diego while we're at it.
If you look at NCAA hockey, look at where all the teams who are in the Frozen Four or whatever, Elite Eight, whatever, however they list their tournament, they're all northern teams and northeastern teams. These, I'm telling you, they're not going to draw basketball, baseball, football numbers, but hockey's never going to do that. So just accept it as a niche sport, move it back above the Mason-Dixon line unless a team south of there actually really does have a following. Like, I'd say you could probably keep San Jose Sharks as long as they keep doing well.
I bet you could keep the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, you could keep Dallas Stars. But the Stars come from Minnesota.
It's true.
So, I mean, they had pedigree right there. You could keep L.A., even though L.A. they're fickle sports fans anyways.
They don't know they have a team till they win the cup. Oh, hey, we have a hockey team.
Yeah, and it's more about, to a lot of people, going to the game and being seen at the game than actually being a fan of the sport or the team, which is one of my beefs with going to Tigers games these days, because when I had season tickets, some games there was 5,000 people at Comerica. Everyone there was watching the game. You could talk to almost anybody, and everyone was knowledgeable. The last couple times I've went, it's just like the LA Dodgers, it's like to talk about the Dodgers. Show up in the third and leave in the sixth. They're all taking selfies, and the chicks are like, "Ooh, I want to drink my Hurricane," and I'm like, "Oh my God, someone shut this bitch up."
Perhaps you saw there was a lot of suburbanite/white shaming going on social media regarding opening day.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah,
for the Tigers?
Yes.
I must have missed that, dude. I mean, besides the usual fucking, hipster douchebags like, "Oh, we're tired of all these suburbanites coming down here for Tigers opening day." And it's like, douchebag, get over it. Deal with it.
No, I mean, well, there was a news story of people in the Brush Park neighborhood. Some people broke into an abandoned house and were vandalizing it and called the cops. And a bunch of people jumped on that, talking about the suburbanites coming down here and treating it. It's like, and I get what they're saying, but at the same time, like, the house is got fucking boarded up. Like, are they going to do damage to the blight further?
So a bunch of drunk, rowdy people are assholes in empty, abandoned houses versus, I don't know, an average night where houses are broke into and stripped of every piece of copper and anything that they could scrap.
Yeah,
I mean,
a point I tried to make on social media, and the white guilt mob just jumped right up my ass.
Whoa. First of all, that's not white nor black guilt. Scrappers can be white or black, so fuck them for that.
And then and there's also this Facebook post that was circulated. This dude took a picture of a parking lot with a whole bunch of red Solo cups in it. And the post started with "Dear Suburbanites/Tiger fans." I mean, the subtle racism in there for starters, and was talking about, "Please don't do this to my city. I don't come to your city and do this. Please treat the city with respect," which I get, but at the same time, it's like, do you have this much of a boner for the neighborhoods as you do the parking lots? Over the weekend, there's a lot of like suburbanite/white people shaming going on regarding opening day that I just thought was a bunch of just stupid bullshit.
Oh, Christ.
We could get into that.
I mean, I know it happens to an extent every year, and I feel like I've seen the picture you're talking about before with a little message attached to it, like, "Hey, I'm a trust fund baby who lives in a fucking $4,000 loft in downtown Detroit, and please don't destroy our neighborhood." Meanwhile, these fuckers never go to the East Side War Zone or Southwest Detroit unless it's a Mexican Village, or they don't come to the neighborhood where I used to live at, which is might as well be the fucking suburbs. But oh no, that's Northwest Detroit. We don't go there.
Yeah, a point I tried to make with a lot of people is like, really, like, let's go a few blocks from downtown and let's have this attitude about around here.
Yeah, go down to the Russell and start that shit. There you go. How about that? But that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but no, like the the white guilt mob just jumped all over me. Like, it's about treating things with respect. I'm like, I fucking get that, but the spin you fucking putting on it is fucking retarded.
I mean, we can get into. I kind of want to save because I mean, I know you've got a rant obviously on deck. So I mean, you know,
I did too. We got the dude wearing the Caucasians.
Oh, that's my fucking not profile picture, but my cover photo on Facebook. Man, I thought that shit was hilarious. Like I was. Who the fuck would be? First of all, why are you offended by that? It's fucking hilarious. I mean, I don't care about the.
Well, my whole point is like, if you're trying to offend people, like wrong term. Yeah, Caucasians is stating the obvious. Crackers, honkies, whitey. All right.
The Oklahoma O-Phase.
Yeah, like. You're gonna come Caucasians, like
the Georgetown gray meats.
Yeah, that's just stating a fact. Is when you say Caucasians.
The New Jersey no rhythms.
I know, right?
Yeah, no, I just think the shit's funny. I mean, personally, look, I
get where his head is at, but wrong term.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about this before on our old podcast, and you know, it's not my fight. Who am I to say if a group of people are offended by Cleveland Indians or whatever the fuck? Okay, fine. Well, then go ahead, change it if you want to. If someone named their fucking team the Caucasians, it'd be funny. If someone named it the Crackers, it'd be even more funny. I mean, that's just me. I don't get offended by shit like that. I don't know why. I just like, maybe it's because as a privileged white straight male, I don't know what it's like to be oppressed. So,
or you have a sense of humor.
Well, I mean, I know I'd like to think I know true oppression when I see it, but I've been told so much in the last 2 years of my life that I can't even sympathize with people who are oppressed because
I know, right?
And I'm like, okay, well then.
You're like, I've lived the same lifestyle. I don't get to be in the same club.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's the same thing with downtown on opening day, which is funny because I was downtown in 2002 when we won the cup, and everybody was out there, and there was no problems. There was, I mean, you're always going to have some idiot that pisses on the fucking street, but that's day-to-day thing in cities like New York and Chicago. Detroit's just empty enough in certain areas where you don't see it all the time. So when those areas get filled up and you see it, you're like, whoa, that dude just dropped trout and took a shit right by the Fox. Yeah, it's because fucking half the time, unless there's a vent down here and it's night, no one's down here. What the fuck? It's just, I don't know. I can't even
whitey.
Give that. Yeah, I can't even stop being offended for other people.
I know, right?
Okay, I mean, that's the only thing I can say. You can go, hey, that's fucked up. And if that was me and you were saying that about me, I'd be offended. I get that. But, I'm appalled, and you're not going to subjugate, these people. And it's like, how condescending is that? What, these people can't speak for themselves? They need you, Mr. Carefully coiffed beard white man, to fucking tell us about it? Sit down, shut up, drink your fucking $18 fucking beer, and just, oh, God.
There's a saying we heard a lot when we were growing up, and the converse of it starting to become true. Never trust anyone under 30.
Yeah.
Because at this point, at least in our current climate, their head is just firmly and squarely in their ass. I mean, I'm sure our head is still up there to a degree too, but man, like I don't know if it's just getting closer to 40, but we're getting into territory of the old podcast here.
No, but I mean, it's the truth, and it's to keep it somewhat sports related. It's a conversation I had with a coworker. She is very much, you are the gender you choose to identify yourself as. I said, that's fine and dandy. But when you go to the doctor, I don't care if you had the operation. If you're over 40 and you still have a prostate, you're getting a finger in the ass. Okay, I don't care if you walk in and say, I identify as a non-binary, gender-presenting, blah, blah. I don't care if you identify as an armored personnel carrier. Are you male or female? I am a doctor. I have to treat you based on your birth gender.
Do you have a dick or a vagina?
Yes. Oh, they took your vagina and they made it look like a penis? Great. You still have female anatomy up inside. I'm going to have to treat that.
Still got ovaries.
You can still get uterine cancer, yes.
Yeah.
So, and she's talking about, this and it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I don't care. sports. There's my question. What about sports? And she's like, well, I really don't. I mean, I don't see why men and women can't compete. I'm like, have you ever played against grown men, Miss 5'4", 100 pounds? Have you ever strapped on some pads and went out there and took some hits from high school football players, let alone college and professional?
Well, too, and Caitlyn Jenner can identify with what she wants to be all she wants, but when she steps up to that tee, she's still going to crush it like a dude.
Exactly. And she's just like,
She's
you
got
don't.
a dude's body mass, a dude's bone structure.
And this coworker is just, you just don't get it. You don't understand. And that's when I just looked at her. I said, here's the deal. I wish we could fast forward time for just an hour to where you're 40 years old, okay? And some fucking 19-year-old who don't know shit about shit walks up to you and goes, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. It equals 5. And you have to look at that person and go, what?
My answer identifies as 5.
I feel 2 + 2 equals 5. Therefore, my feelings are valid. So 2 + 2 equals 5. And you have to just go all my life. And then everyone around this person will sit and politely clap.
Yeah, it's 5. Oh, yes.
Or
because
snap
you believe it
because
is.
they don't want to. Yes, snap because they don't want to startle anyone and trigger anyone with PTSD. And so, and you're just gonna have to sit there and just go. You can't argue with that. It's like if you walk up to someone and go, so where are you from? Pluto. Is that a town somewhere I haven't heard of? No, it's the planet. Well, first of all, it's not a planet anymore, but okay. How are the winters there? Seems like they'd be awful long. You know, you can't argue with someone who's in that mindset. So I'm just like, okay, here's the deal. Let's get it. Let's let everybody get a good laugh. And we worry about our kids playing high school football and getting concussions and fucking up themselves up for the rest of their lives. Start putting fucking anybody who wants to be on the team, male or female, out there with people who actually deserve to be on the team and let them go full tilt at each other.
Ooh, I get ugly.
Exactly. I'm going to laugh my ass off because it's going to be like something out of Jackass. That's what it's going to look like to me.
That girl just folded in half.
Look at that 90-pound Michael Cera-looking motherfucker. Yeah. Why does he think he's a linebacker? Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
They crushed her pelvis.
So, hey, that's an issue that I think is going to get more and more interesting as we get older. How does all this social change fit into sports?
Yeah, we're becoming more feelings-based as a society and not logic-based. And it's good for some things, but not for others, is what you can boil it down to. It doesn't apply to everything.
Exactly. And sports is very much, by its very nature, a win or go home situation. There are clear winners and clear
oh boy.
clear winners and clear losers. And we can take that out of children's sports all we want. We don't keep score. Everyone's a winner, whatever, fine. Okay, you choose to put your child in that type of sports, good. But when it comes to, your kid actually has talent, well, we want to put him on a travel team. And guess what? There are winners and there are losers.
Ain't no participation trophies in life, son.
Exactly.
No, you don't get a participation trophy for showing up to work.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this happens because you get a lot of the kids growing up with that are just now starting to hit the age to where, and there's always going to be kids that are complete opposite. There's
Shit they do can affect us.
Oh, yeah. But, there's always going to be kids that are the complete opposite and go, whatever, I don't care.
What happens when these people
football.
Start getting into fucking Washington? I hope I'm dead by then.
Hey, here's my thing. We have just let so much bullshit fuck with sports and how it's played and how we view it in society to where it's not even entertaining. Isn't the whole point of sports is it's supposed to be fun first and foremost?
Yes, it's supposed to be entertaining to watch.
Exactly. And
or participate in.
Exactly, yeah. And we've turned it into something that is just, it's like some half-ass life lesson, but we don't want it to teach the life lessons that it taught everybody for thousands of years, going back to the original Olympics with clear winners and losers. We want it to teach the life lessons we want it to teach.
Have there been two misogynist comments in the last 2 weeks regarding baseball and the new rules, by the way? Wasn't there someone talking about we might as well go out there in dresses?
Oh,
and then someone else, a coach, was talking about, he said something about running around like a bunch of women or something like that.
And here's the thing. I wish someone would have hunted down any of the women players from the Women's Baseball Association that played during World War II and said, "What are your feelings on this?" Because I guarantee they've been like, shit, we slid to take each other out and we were in dresses. So
yeah,
what the hell are these pussies bitching about? You know, they're making way more money than we ever made.
Yeah, pussification of the country is starting to permeate sports. About the last decade, like it's starting to rear its ugly head. And you know what? I mean, this might be an archaic way to think about it, but like, you know what they're making per hour, per game, per day? Fuck that. They can afford to do that shit.
And as much as this sounds like I'm like, you know, saying fuck the athletes, I'm not. Here's the deal. You got players that come in. We're starting to see it in the NFL. They come in, they play, they get their rookie contract, they play, and they go, you know what? I've done the damn thing. I've made a decent amount of money. Some of them probably, you know, have at least a 4-year degree, and if not, they can always go back to college. They've had that life experience. They've got the cash. If they were smart with it, they can set themselves up for life. Maybe not their entire family, but themselves at least. And they can walk away from the game without having hip and knee replacements and brain injuries and stuff like that. But there's always a risk in sports. I find it funny that we...
Oh, you're going to get fucked up if you play sports. People like who retired last week, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, people like that guy are few and far between. Like, never got injured, started every game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Those guys are fucking, needle in a haystack. Let's keep abusing the metaphors here. But, yeah, if you play sports, you're going to get fucked up. Something is going to get fucked up at some point if you are a professional athlete.
And I just think it's funny that we have so many people who don't want their kids to play sports because they might get hurt. Yet, okay, let's be honest, some of these people are probably people who come from low-income families. So what are you going to tell them? Join the military so you can go to college?
Yeah, for some of them, it's their way out. It's their ticket.
I mean, granted, I am totally for paying college athletes, not necessarily like professional athletes, but paying them a salary to play, because the NCAA is just, that's a whole nother show unto itself. But
it's a racket.
Exactly. It's really what it is. But that was the point. These kids get an education and they have an opportunity, if they're good enough, to move on to the professional league or leagues and make their money. And that's that. And it's just, okay, so I just can't wrap my mind around it. I don't want my kid playing football because he could get hurt or, God forbid, he could get killed. But I'll have my kid join the military.
Part of playing the game is getting the shit kicked out of you.
Exactly. We all knew the risk. We had a kid that had a compound fracture when we were 6 years old playing soccer. You know how 6-year-old plays soccer? It looks like a gangbang.
Shitty, yeah.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like
right?
fucking 20 kids, including both goalies, huddled around one fucking ball.
It is literally an organized game of smear the queer. The queer being the ball. It's just like 8 6-year-olds all running after it in a crowd. It's like out of a cartoon, really.
I can clearly remember the coach. Don't bunch. And so what we do?
we bunched.
But I mean, there was a kid who actually broke his leg so bad that the bone was sticking out. And it was like, yes, it can happen, but guess what? Unless you raise your little fucking crotch dropping in a safe little bubble boy environment, that kid could do anything. That kid could slip in the bathtub and crack his skull open. That kid could fall off the toilet. You're trying to toilet train him and dislocate his arm. He could knock out his front teeth, slipping on spilled water in the kitchen and hit the edge of the counter. Anything.
That shit is gross.
You cannot make everything in this world child safe. It's impossible.
We're all special little snowflakes, Rich. Never forget that.
I know. And like snowflakes, why can't they melt and go the fuck away at least for 6 months out of the year?
Damn straight.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Rich.
Show number 2.
Number 2.
Made it back. You know, there's a little gap, but, you know, whatever. Fuck you. This is free. We'll give you this podcast when we decide to give you the podcast.
Yeah, well, real life does sometimes take precedence over talking sports, but...
If you want to head to the website and click the PayPal button and donate, knock yourself out, click through the Amazon, all that fun stuff. But till then, hey, sometimes you're going to miss a week. I'm Chris.
I am Rich.
All right.
And by the way, I just had to point this out. I like how Big Voice Guy almost cracked himself up reading the liner.
I know, right? Well, I had several takes, and that's the one I pulled out. I liked it.
Yeah, it's genuine. It fits with the very half-assed, loose nature of the show. So.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking about an angle for the show, too. Think about this as, the show that we can give you enough to go to the water cooler with, Water coolers are becoming a thing again because people are getting on the kick of just drinking water, which it's not a bad thing, I guess. But they are making a return. Now they have hot and cold. Anyway,
maybe it's just me, but
enough
factory
water.
workers, we always had hot and cold. The hot didn't work half the time, but it gave you the illusion of the option of getting some hot water if you really wanted to after working in a 115-degree shop.
I love how we're kicking off the show with actual talk about water coolers. The ultimate in water cooler talk. All right, so it's a big week. NBA, NHL playoffs are set. Our home teams both fucked around and made it.
And literally,
both should be first-round exits.
In terms of the Red Wings, fucked around and, it's like the song "Fooled Around and Fell in Love." It's like they lucked into fucking getting a playoff
it came down to game 82. It was like, oh, come on, guys, like all week. And then they even lost. Against a Rangers team who had nothing to play for, really.
The Rangers ran their B team out there. They were trying to tank
B
that
and
game.
C team.
I mean, literally, it'd be like putting me out there. and the Wings were like, I don't know, man. His 2-mile-per-hour skating is just too much for us. We can't take it. It was an ugly way to get in, but fuck it, they're in. And if
Boston, thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about choke job.
Oh
Jesus.
yeah. How pissed are you if you are a Boston Bruins fan?
But yeah, they're in. So since they're in,
they kept the streak alive.
But of course, they come up against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is without Stamkos because of, as we talked about earlier, injury. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty much unanimous. Everything I've been reading and all the opinions from the talking heads that they think Tampa Bay is going to win.
Chicago's defending. Yeah, we went over this last show. Chicago's defending champ. Didn't they lose didn't Tampa Bay lost to Chicago?
Yep. And never good for your team when Barry Melrose of ESPN picks your team to win a series. He's picked Detroit to beat Tampa, so I'm pretty much saying that's the guaranteed. You're out.
I mean, do they got a shot? Sure. I mean, they're in the playoffs, but
that is the fun thing about the NHL playoffs is it truly is the second season, and out of fucking nowhere, a goalie can get hot and just steal you a series, steal you a couple series, and next thing you know, you're sitting there going, who the fuck are these guys, and why are they in the conference finals? I mean, it's happened so many times in my lifetime. I mean, think back to 20 years ago, 1996. It was Colorado versus the fucking Florida Panthers. John Van Beesbrook, of all fucking people, carried the Panthers to the fucking Cup Finals. I mean, granted, Colorado was like, oh, no, we're going to dip this in the bud. We went through Chicago, Detroit, and I can't remember who they played. They played Chicago in the second round, Detroit in the third round, if I'm correct. And in the finals, him at Florida. And they were just like, no, shh, just here. We're going to sweep you under the rug. And, okay, yeah, Waz great. He's an asshole.
Thanks for coming out.
He's the best ever. Yeah.
See you in September.
But yeah, speaking of Florida Panthers, they are the number one seed in the East and they're playing the Islanders, which I'm pretty much. I mean, we can read it off real quick and give our predictions here. Who you got over Florida and the Islanders? Who you taking?
Fuck Islanders. Why not?
You're gonna just go with all the underdogs, huh?
Yeah. They play at the Barclays Center. I'm in New York all the time. Why not?
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely got Florida in that. And we have Tampa Bay and Detroit. Oh, that one kills me to say this. I'm going to go with Tampa.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not? I'll be the homer asshole.
And then you got Washington and Philly.
Hey, Washington's a clear choice there.
Yeah.
Philly also fucked around and made the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of oops, sorry. Didn't mean to break up your playoff party. This is probably Washington and Philly could be a very good series, but out of everybody in the East, I'm saying Pittsburgh and Rangers has the chance to be the best series, and I hate Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Rangers, but I really deep down, if gun to my head, put money on it. I think Pittsburgh's going to take that.
I'll take the Rangers, my second home team.
And then over in the West, you have Dallas and Minnesota. Yeah,
Gotta go with the Wild on that one, man.
Dallas. I mean, that's they're just strong in the West. That's just my opinion. I think they could take that one. Probably the best matchup as far as classic rivalries comes next, and that's St. Louis and Chicago.
Ooh, I mean, you got to take Chicago, right? They're defending champs.
Yes, they are, and that has a chance to get bloody. We're talking some old school, you know, might not win the game, but you see where the fights were on the ice type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anaheim and Nashville.
I don't know, do you just go with Ducks, man?
That's pretty much who I have on that one, yeah. And then this one could be a good one. It's just because from what I'm not huge on LA and San Jose, but my sister's a pretty big Kings fan, and she says that San Jose and LA have a pretty good rivalry going. So
yeah, that's NorCal and SoCal.
Yeah, so I mean that could be another good series. Yeah, I would go with LA on that one. That's my gut on that one.
Well, yeah, they're only a few years removed from a cup. It's a good call. We'll agree there.
Well, they also, I mean, Quick is still he's a goalie who is proven, and he's still young. He's still in his prime. You know, you got to ride the hot goaltender. I mean, that's the one difference that hockey can make is. That's the one player that can turn a series. It's just the goaltender that stands on his head.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest jobs in Detroit, too, right? Was it Lions quarterback, starting pitcher for the Tigers, and goalie for the Red Wings?
Pretty much. Because when I lived in upstate New York, man, that was when Hasek was out there.
Yeah.
There was never any question, you know, who was their number one goalie.
The Dominator.
Yeah, I mean, it was constant. You know, like here in Detroit, it's constantly, you know, well, put Mrazek in, put Howard in, or when Osgood was here, you know, what about Legacy? Hey, put Hodson in, you know. I mean, in Buffalo, it was no, it's Dominic Hasek. If he can't play, why can't he play? What's wrong with him? Fix him. Put him out there. You know, yeah. Like what does Michael Jackson use? The parabolic chamber, whatever the fuck it is. Put him in there. We got to get him in here, man. Hopefully, and this is just me. I have slept so hard on the playoffs last couple of years because I've just resisted the changes to the game, but I'm actually going to give it a full-on shot this year. What really bums me out is no Canadian teams at all. So I know our entire
Canada, get your shit together.
No, our entire neighbors to the north got to be fucking salty right now. I mean, that's just. They're looking to like going, see, this is that Bettman asshole we were talking about. This is what he wanted. And here in America, every team's American in the playoffs. And what are you going to get? A big collective. Maybe
as far as ratings go, absolutely. Unless it's going to be in like, you know, the Midwest and the Northeast. Quite honestly.
Maybe if it comes down to it, maybe if it's like LA versus Rangers or, you know, Chicago versus the Rangers. Well, I mean, Chicago versus the Rangers, that's an original six matchup. So if you're a hockey fan, you're going to watch it regardless. But, you know, you always want to go for more of the matchup if your team's not in it, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I just like the fact that the Wings, they made it. You know, it was staring some history in the face. You know, that's 25 years. So what, 1991 was the last time?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, I have a buddy who
12.
I have a buddy who is in radio, and he's a younger guy, and he said, every year I've been alive, they've been in the playoffs. He does not know a world where the Red Wings don't make the playoffs.
It's like the internet. It's always been there.
Yeah.
For this guy.
So I'm like, hey man, savor the flavor because I don't think it's gonna last much longer, and it probably really shouldn't, judging by how they're just barely making the playoffs and how they're just barely hanging on when they get in to even giving, you know, that much of a fight to their first round opponent. I mean, if they get swept out of the first round, I hate to say it, but I think it's time. You know, Datsuk touched on it earlier. He might not be around. well, you know what? Maybe don't spend all that money on free agents and try to prop us up with old guys. Maybe it's time to just blow it up.
But they need to go back to what they were, and maybe they are. I haven't been paying that much attention to them the last couple of years. Go back to what they were doing in the early 2000s, man, and fucking stock the fucking pond in the farm system.
And it's harder said than done, though. I mean, because in hockey, in hockey you really have to be bad for a couple of years to really stock your farm system. I mean, it has to be like, and now of course they have the draft lottery, like they did too in the NBA, thanks Bettman. And so there's no guarantee, even if you're the worst fucking team, that you're going to get the number 1 overall pick. If you don't make the playoffs, there's still a chance. If you're the team that just missed it, you can end up with the number 1 pick. Granted, it's a 1-2% chance, something like that, but still. And that just, I don't know, man. It just seems like there is more parity in the league. I will say that, but is it what's best for the game? I mean, I don't see the ratings being any better than they were in the 80s when hockey was at its like.
Yeah, say this ain't the late 80s, early 90s anymore, man. Maybe even mid 90s too. I mean,
well, mid 90s, and a lot of people will hate on me for saying this, but it's just honest to God's truth. What saved it was it being on ESPN. It still being the very tail end, but it was still the age of the enforcer skating alongside the superstar. So you had to answer for what you did to the superstar. I mean, when they traded Gretzky, McSorley went with them. That was not by accident. Yzerman had Kosar and Probert. Every star had his enforcer, and the enforcers could play. These days, it's like cheap shots left and right, diving. There is a video. If you're a hockey fan, you don't have to look it up. You've already seen it. But if you're just a casual fan, look it up and just look up the worst Sidney Crosby dives. This guy makes fucking soccer players look like they don't take dives.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of flopping too, and have you seen in the NBA lately? That shit goes on. Oh God, yeah. All the time in the NBA, and it just page right out of soccer's book, though. With all these guys taking these dives and doing these flops.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite 30 for 30s was the one about Reggie Miller and the Knicks winning time, and they were showing just like he would get grazed and he'd go into these theatrics and fall back and act like the dude just bitch slapped him, and it was just I was watching it and I was like, my God, this is why I lost so much interest in basketball. And this is why I'm losing so much interest in hockey, because it's not a contact sport anymore. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Everything's a dirty hit. Everything's a foul. No, let them fucking play. I remember back in the day, in playoff hockey, for there to be a 5-on-3, someone had to literally try to take their skate off and kill another person. Now, if you fart too hard in front of the ref, it's a 5-on-3. That's ridiculous.
Do we want to talk NBA playoffs?
I mean, we can. Sadly, I'm starting to think that this podcast might get more traction in Canada than it will.
I know, right? This particular episode. But, Pistons first round matchup, Cleveland. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah. It was a good run, guys. Hey, and you're building for the future. Even though people say there's no momentum from one season to the next, we'll see. God, Cleveland, really? Really?
LeBron just posterizing us the entire playoffs,
and he don't even really want to be there, and he's just going to wipe the floor with them. That's the sad part.
Yeah, that's what we got. Golden State and Utah. I mean, that should be. That should be like having a bye week for Golden State, shouldn't it?
It should. It should. I mean,
hey, we got to do these scrimmages.
What I find funny is that there's a lot of shit talk from teams who haven't been on the floor together 20 years ago, or in 20 years, about what they would do to Golden State these days.
I know, right?
And I'm just like, oh, really? Really? Okay. It's like anytime I hear, the worst team in the NFL could be the best all-star college football team ever put together. And it's like, yeah, but it's never going to happen. So why are we talking about it? I mean, it's fun to bullshit, but let's be honest. The Bulls of 95-96 played in a completely different era than it is now. I mean, and they were pussifying it then. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's funny.
I think you got Toronto and Indiana. Apparently Toronto's good now. They're second seed, 54-26 at the moment. We got the Spurs and the Mavericks. Nowitzki's still playing, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's a player coach. Well, I guess if Tim Duncan isn't, neither should Nowitzki be. Atlanta and Charlotte, Oklahoma City and Memphis, Boston and Miami, and the Clippers and the Trailblazers.
Boston and Miami is a matchup that I might actually pay more than just a passing bit of attention to. Can't really say why. I mean, it's not like I have any rooting interest in either side, but that seems like it'll be a little bit of a closer series than Detroit Cleveland.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey man, who's that cat coming down the street?
I don't know, but it sounds to me like that.
Oh, what's this? What's this? Why are they talking? Oh, anyway. This music's subtly racist anyway.
What, you get the Puffy remix of this?
No,
Yeah, thought I told you I can't stop. I told you I can't stop.
All of a sudden there's going to be a bass drop coming. But yeah, I don't know. We sound like two white guys who don't watch basketball trying to talk about basketball.
That's exactly what we are.
Yes.
Hey man, if this was the 80s, I'd be into it. If they played like they did in the 80s, that's all I can say. I wasn't around to watch it in the 70s and 60s and 50s and couldn't tell you about that era. But I do remember the battles in the 80s, and it was, it's fucking legendary, man. Lakers and Boston, come on now. Bird and Magic, that was must-see TV back in the day. Even when you only had 5-6 channels.
Michael Jordan and anybody?
Yeah, I remember when Jordan wasn't Jordan yet. He hadn't won a championship, and watching him lose. And it's weird to me that there are people out there who are just like me, alive and watching it happen, who cannot remember that.
I was at the game at the Silverdome where he had the flu and put up like 50-something. I was at that bitch. Now I know he do it again famously in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
But there was it was like a Easter Sunday game. It was but the same situation. Michael Jordan had the flu and he put up like 50-something points. I was like 10. But I mean, from what I know from what I've been paying attention to basketball, for his podcast, I poked my head back out of the ground, start paying attention to the sports world again. It's pretty much Golden State's to lose this year. I mean, they're about to break that record. I mean, if you watch them play, they just look like one of those teams that's just right place, right time, and it's going to be like, hey, remember this team?
Yeah.
Is the term team of destiny? Is it the cliche they like to throw around a lot?
Oh yeah. Well, you pretty much on Wednesday night is the last night of the regular season, if I'm correct, which will be the night this airs. But you have that game, them going for 73, which probably my most weird crush on ESPN, Rachel Nichols, is like, whatever. They've won 72 games. They're going to win 73. Stop taking shots at my team. So I'm just like, oh, okay.
But I love how the Warriors, your team, let's talk.
I'm paraphrasing. Let's
talk 5 years ago. Your team 5 years ago.
But also Wednesday night, at the exact same time, you're going to have Kobe playing his last game.
Yeah, that's big.
Which, he dropped 32, 36 the other night.
He's been having himself a week. Do you think teams are laying down for him? Maybe leaving him a lane to the basket. It's your last week, Kobe. You can drop 30 on us one more time.
I hate to keep saying it because it just makes me the old guy, but 20 years ago, I'd say no, not a chance in hell. These days, who knows, man? I mean, it's not like the Lakers are playing for anything.
I know, right?
I can't even say they're playing for pride at this point with the bullshit that went on with the recording. Or
in front of any fans, if you've seen footage of Lakers games lately.
Is Jack still even at the Lakers games?
I know, right? He's at Clippers games now.
But yeah, I was actually listening to something on Sunday because I was at work. I couldn't watch TV, but I could listen to sports talk radio, and it happened to be the 4-letter network, and it was a national thing. So they were talking about Kobe's history, et cetera, et cetera. And Stephen A. Smith was on, and he brought up something that I guess has been a poorly kept secret for a while, but he confirmed it that when Shaq and Kobe were the first season they were together, one of their first practices, they kind of had a little run-in. And I guess Shaq, according to Stephen A. Smith, I'm just passing on the information, the exact word he used was slapped Kobe, which brings to mind you don't slap a grown man. I mean, do we have to go over the rules that Charlie Murphy laid down?
I'll check the rapists for 200.
I mean, we're talking about Kobe, right? Everyone forgets about that.
But yeah, and they said how that set the right there the tone for their partnership. And even though they hated each other, they still went on to win 4 championships together. And I did not know about. Didn't live in LA, wasn't really following the Lakers at this point. But it's kind of an interesting thing to think about. They said that the entire city of LA was divided. It was either Team Kobe or Team Shaq. And I'm like, have we ever really had that? Like, I don't think we've had that in our city.
First of all, you don't slap a man.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't slap it. And then back in the day when slapping was fashionable, they had a duel afterwards. One of them had to go. Yeah, and it's just like, man, that is nuts. And to think about that, and can you imagine that in today's sports world? I mean, where you can't keep anything in the locker room because of social media.
Oh, like your boy Swaggy P.
Where's the 5 fingers? Say to the face. What? Slap.
Footage from that practice. Kobe met Shaq.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. That, and I mean, someone, a fucking janitor, somebody who is just happens to be working wherever they're practicing, would have just pulled out a camera and started recording, and it had leaked out somehow, some way.
People at this point know not to do shady shit anymore. Like, you're not in public, Like we talked about first show, Johnny Manziel. He found that shit out the hard way. Especially if you're in a public eye now. Fucking, you got to be a goddamn Boy Scout.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, there's no more. Well, there might be, man.
But here's this conversation, and I'm sure we're retreading. We're not breaking any new ground here in the sports talk realm, but shouldn't they be? I mean, don't they realize a lot of those guys, a lot of kids are looking at you, looking up to you, wanting to be like you? I mean, and isn't that we're talking about things that come with the territory, isn't that something that comes with the territory? I mean, we know we had Charles Barkley talking about, I'm not a role model and all that shit when we were kids, but still, isn't that part of the gig?
I don't know. The athletes I looked up to when I was a kid, I looked up to them because of the way they played on the field. I had no idea what their personal lives were. So
that's you, but we're smarter than the average bear.
Ever since Barkley said that, I've agreed with him. I'm not a fucking role model. I'm an athlete. I mean, if your kid's aspiring to be me, like I was, if you want to call it blessed, born, lucky with, athletic talent and the size to do what I do and the will and determination to hone that talent into a career. But I mean, look up to that. But as a human being, I'm just as flawed as everybody else.
Do you think he hangs out with Spike Lee and Sam Jackson, on the weekends?
Who?
Charles Barkley.
No, I think he hangs out at the casino on the weekends. That's what I think.
Seen his recent round of commercials. Apparently, Capital One wants you to think him and Spike Lee and Sam Jackson are all buddy-buddy.
I have totally missed those commercials.
And they were hanging out with Kermit the Frog. They acting like Kermit would hang out with them. Kermit was calling them bros in the commercial as well. He's like, hey, bros. They were...
Hey-ho, Kermit's here.
And they were capping on him for Miss Piggy, talking about, hurrying him up. And it was Charles Barkley was like, sometimes you bring home the bacon, sometimes the bacon brings you home, or something like that. And it was like they were playing the dozens with Kermit. Like, let me see if I can find this shit.
First of all, I'm surprised that commercial aired without someone yelling cultural appropriation because Kermit was calling
bros.
Charles Barkley.
He's calling them all bros. He's like, hey, bros. But isn't it okay? Because Spike Lee was in it? I mean, so doesn't that make it okay now? in our fucking retarded culture? Like Spike Lee's in it, so it's okay?
Man, I don't know. Like I said, I was going to save this. This is what I was going to say. I ain't got a dog in this fight. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I'm not allowed to have an opinion about certain things because of the color of my skin, who I'm attracted to. So if I'm not allowed to have an opinion, even if it's to support somebody, and my opinion is invalid, then fuck it, I don't care. So that's what you're going to get. It's what we want. It's what we want. It's what we want. We want a whole society that just doesn't give a fuck because they're tired of being told they can't understand and they can't even have empathy and compassion. Like, I can drive by someone on the street who just had a car accident and see that they're fucked up behind the wheel, looking like a goddamn fucking, Picasso painting there so fucked up, and have empathy and compassion for what they're going through. But I can't, someone, this person's being fucked with because of their gender or because of their, sexual orientation, and hey, that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that. Well, you can't speak on it. You're whitewashing the situation. Well, then fuck it. I'm whitewashing the situation. I don't give a shit. How about that?
I believe the term is white-splaining.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Kermit, my man. You ready to fan out?
Yeah, I can't watch the game.
What happened?
She happened.
Cut the chit-chat, Frog! We got a show to do!
Say it ain't so, my little green bro. All right, so I gotta go.
Sometimes you bring home the bacon. Sometimes the bacon brings you home.
Too true.
Watch it, Chucky!
See you, Kerm.
2 fingers. Yeah, back at you, bros.
All right. I always heard she was a ham.
There you go.
Oh, man. Where's
I bet you somewhere on Twitter someone was pissed off about that because Kermit was also giving him the 2 fingers. Kermit on his chest, one love,
Kermit was like 2 1s, pimping. Yeah, they're like, nope, can't have that. Oh man. See, this is why it's so hard for me. I don't even watch commercials. I swear, commercials come on, and if it's a live sports thing, I get up and leave the room. This is why I could never do terrestrial radio, because I'd be like, don't buy any of that shit. It's all garbage. You know what you want. No commercials ever made me decide to buy anything.
Yeah, it's only alerted me of something I've wanted to buy. Oh, I can buy that now.
Oh, yeah. Or there's, instead of Coke, there's Coke and Pepsi.
Oh, you put the chocolate into the peanut butter?
Oh, snap. This some next level shit right here, son.
Yeah.
Let's do this. and I hate to say it, but I mean, Kermit, you're off the artistic roll call,
Muppet, he never was on an artistic roll call.
I know. I'm just flashing to that.
No, but have you noticed that, actors don't give a fuck anymore. Like, everybody pimps everything now. I think the line in the sand was Alec Baldwin doing Capital One commercials. I think once people were like, what? Baldwin? Because fucking, what blows my mind now? I don't know if you've seen this or not. Fucking Jason Schwartzman is doing commercials with Alec Baldwin for that Amazon fucking Alexa thing or whatever it is. Fucking Jason Schwartzman, Mr. fucking indie film guy, street hipster cred, whatever you want to call it. Like, I mean, that must mean it's over, right? Like, apparently there's no more taboo on commercials if guys like that are doing spots now.
I guess. I mean, I still have definite feelings about certain things, and if an artist wants to allow their likeness or their music or whatever to be used, that's fine. That's up to them. I have issues with family members trying to cash in on dead relatives, and it's like, really?
Jimi Hendrix.
Like, you can't find a movie to put the music in. You can't find a video game, a television show. No. We got to have Jimi Hendrix or Jim Morrison selling Coke or Pepsi or,
I mean, we're musicians, man. Ray Manzarek was just fucking flogging that Doors horse, trying to get that thing to shit out every goddamn penny he could.
When your career comes to a screeching halt like the Doors did, and they tried, I'll give them credit. They released a couple albums without Morrison. They didn't do anything, but they released a couple albums. But
were they still the Doors, or did they have a different name?
They were the Doors.
Really?
Yeah.
I was not aware of this. Are they out of print, or do they think studios are trying to bury?
Oh, I have no idea. The only reason I know this at all is because I have a buddy who's a huge Doors fan. And when he told me that, I was like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, no, I swear to God.
Is someone else singing, or was it instrumentals?
I believe it was Ray singing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes. Those all died in a mysterious studio fire? All the masters were lost?
Yeah. It was 2 albums. Other Voices and Full Circle.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, good times there.
Yeah. How'd we get on talking about this?
Fuck, I don't know.
Oh. That's a great thing. It's great how it goes.
Oh, well, there is some very fucked up and sad news.
What's this?
Will Smith.
Oh, yeah, that.
Former New Orleans Saints D-end. Yeah. Shot, what was it, yesterday?
I think
yeah,
it was
Sunday.
Saturday morning, or Friday night, or Saturday morning.
Oh, I thought it was
Or maybe
Sunday.
Saturday night. Yeah, no, because I was reading about it on the plane on Sunday. So, yeah, I think it was maybe Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Yeah, I haven't.
Road rage incident.
That's what I picked up on. That's what I heard. And apparently the guy that did it.
Well, I heard they got him.
Oh no, they got him.
He is in
apparently
custody.
He waited for him.
Oh.
At the scene. That's what I heard.
Oh, I should have read the story.
But the gentleman is a rather large gentleman, about 6'6", maybe 6'7", and he's actually plays on a few different. I guess NFL doesn't have minor league teams, but
Practice squads.
not practice squads. I'm trying to.
NFL Europe.
Hold on, no,
CFL.
It's something weird. It's not like that, but it's. Anyways, long story short, he played. He was an extra in 22 Jump Street for the college football team, and I guess he's trying to break into the NFL by any means necessary.
Not be prison league, son.
Yeah, I know, right? Longest yard, like all day, like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, Cardell Hayes, and be facing, of course, murder. Now, here's the thing that gets me. Okay, now I get it. Athletes are alpha males, and no one wants to back down from nobody. But these are two rather large gentlemen. They get into a car accident. They get out. Why is there a gun involved? Anyways, you're that big, you really need to pack heat?
The first thing I thought of was like, this gentleman sounds like he doesn't need a gun.
Yeah, this is a big fucking biscuit-eating, 2-liter drinking motherfucker. He don't need to carry a gun unless he's got some devious shit up his sleeve to begin with. That's just all there is to that.
Is this another case of you can take the person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the person?
I don't know. I haven't read up enough on it. I don't want to speculate, but I'm wondering if there's something a little bit more to it than just a road rage incident. If somehow there's a connection between these two that I haven't read about yet, because it just seems crazy that, I mean, you, out of all these people, you're going to run into the person or into a football player, and you're a prospective football player.
You're going to do a dude who can pay for it, you know?
Yeah, and you're going to get out, and as a prospective football player, you're telling me that you don't know who he is, that you're not going to look at him and be like, okay,
fix your car and help you out.
Yeah, like, so you're just going to get out and just, he's going to say, okay, so what if he called you out your name? Who gives a shit? I mean, congratulations, you got to take a little bit of bullshit, but then you're going to get paid in the end. So that's what I don't know. I'm hoping it's nothing as stupid as just, hey, fuck that motherfucker over there, think he all that, run into him, gets out. Okay, this is my excuse to fucking cap his ass. Bam. I mean, it's stupid no matter what happened, but I just really hope it wasn't no shit like that, because he even shot the guy's wife, man. She got shot twice in the leg. She's still alive, though.
Like, this guy emptied a clip.
That's cold. I mean, that's just cold. Even Mark David Chapman didn't shoot Yoko. I mean, that's just fucking cold, man.
Fucking right there, too.
We're talking about something serious and we're cracking jokes, but it's kind of like, really? Not one stray bullet, huh? Hey.
Who's that? Hicks or Leary? Who was that?
It was probably Hicks, and Leary stole it.
Touche.
But yeah, man, it's pretty bad. And of course, what's going to happen now. It's going to, as far as I'm concerned, there's no need to even drag it up, because other podcasts and other talking heads will cover it. But we just have to both at least acknowledge, it's going to turn into some fucking gun debate. And someone's going to fucking hold this up as, we need more gun control. No, we need less gun control. Everybody should have guns. No one should have guns. And at this point, I'm just like, look, man, this dude's body is barely cold. Can we just stop making tragedies and propping up making our agenda fit these tragedies? Can we just deal with the fact that the man is dead, leaves behind kids, 3 kids, I believe, a wife shot twice?
Yeah, must we attach politics to everything?
Exactly.
But in this day and age, yeah, it's coming down to that. Other day, I fucking was listening to like Pandora or some shit. An American Idiot came on. That song by Green Day. Think what you want about the song, but I was listening to the lyrics. I was like, Jesus Christ, these are like prophetic lyrics. This is like a 10-year-old song, and that's where we're at now, man. Unfortunately, it sucks. It's annoying. Okay, we'll have President Trump soon. Oh boy.
AKA Camacho.
I know, right? Like, how quick did it take for that? It's only 10 years later, man. It's only 10 years later.
This
movie, that movie's supposed to be like 500 years in the future. It's 10 years later, man.
And you know what it is? And this is what's fucked up. It really is this. It's the internet, man. everybody has a voice, and everybody thinks their voice is right, and everybody thinks they now have the right to tell everybody else to shut the fuck up and think the way they want. Like when you had to keep this shit to yourself under threat of maybe getting socked in your fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were a lot more polite. Now, no, man, they just get on there, fuck you, bitch, fuck you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this keeping it sports related, go on a sports blog. Go on a sports page on Facebook.
Yeah, they're some of the worst, man.
This shit makes political debates look like civilized. And I'm not talking the ones that we not advertise, we televise, which are, can't believe we talked about dick size in a presidential debate, but
I know, right? But that's what I'm saying, man.
I'm talking about the ones online. And this shit makes the YouTube comment section look like Romper Room. It's like 4chan in there. Like, just accusations of men preferring the company of other men, people saying they've done shit with their mother, and the mother done shit with dogs and horses. And I'm just like, if you put all these people in the same room, I bet you 90% of them wouldn't have the balls to say a fucking word to each other, let alone start a fucking fight. Our society has now become the internet.
That's what you said last time, dipshit. I got a solution. You're a dick. South Carolina, what's up?
I mean, we're like here already. They're not necessarily saying that yet, but they're like implying it now. Especially when you see Trump, man. It's fucking. I'm amazed. I don't know. Like, it's scary times. Like, if you really think about it.
I look at it this way. For anyone who actually wandered into this podcast, let me just give a little bit of backstory. We used to do a podcast with a couple other gentlemen, and one of the guys, Jay, on the podcast, from the get-go, the minute Trump announced his candidacy, was like, President Trump all the way. And I thought it was a joke. I'm thinking, I know where he's coming from now. He's just like, fuck it, let's just tear everything down and build it back up, because we fucked up.
We had him on the Weedsman a few weeks ago, and we were asking about it. Hey, so what's up with your boy Trump? He's like, dude, I was fucking around. He's like, I didn't think it would get this far. He's like, no, that was just a joke. He's like, the joke has gone too far.
Oh, see, I thought he was just like, fuck it.
Which that's where I'm at too. I'm like, hey, for those of you who can hear my voice in the United States right now, like, this shit isn't funny anymore. Like, what did John Oliver call it? It's like America's back mole. Like, sure, last summer it seemed all right, but now it looks like it might be become something serious. It's time to get looked at and removed.
Literally regular around the margins there.
I know, man. We straight into politics. Don't even know how we got here.
Well, I mean, hey, if we want to tie it into
we were talking about attaching politics to everything with Will Smith. That's what we were doing.
Yes, but I mean, if you want to tie it back into sports, if Trump's running mate, Tom Brady.
I know, right? John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Vice President of Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Trump's like, I'm not going to go see Putin. I'm going to go send the Undertaker over there to tombstone him. Fuck him.
Our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Steve Stone Cold Austin, man.
Handing out beers and stunners left and right.
I know, right? Goes to the United Nations. Shut the fuck up.
The Rock shows up. So what do you think, Germany? Well, it doesn't matter what you think. Oh, good times. All right, so on that note, should that be our wrap-up note? Because I don't think we can get any more absurd than that.
Yeah, we can. It's the George Costanza theory. You got to go out on a high note. So, you got to check this out. We got kicked off of Instagram because of our name.
What?
It was deemed inappropriate.
Sporgy?
Yes, because it has the word orgy in it. And when I was registering our Facebook page, I tried, to say, hey, give yourself a, decent Facebook address. And I tried to do, /sporgy. It was like, that name contains inappropriate content. So I had to do Sporgy Podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, but by the way, thanks to all of you porn bots on Twitter who have been retweeting our tweets. I didn't think about that when I registered that, but it's crazy, dude. We're getting all kinds of retweets from porn bots.
Oh, man. Dude, we might have an audience that's just, I don't know, man. This might turn into some Caligula shit or something. I don't know, man.
Thanks to everybody who has followed us at Sporgy Podcast on Twitter. Wait, I have actually, there we go. Actually, I have a script. Thank you for downloading Sporgy for free on iTunes or from ChristopherMedia.net. The all-new ChristopherMedia.net. I updated that bitch. It's way more podcast-friendly. It's easier to share it on your social medias. Check it out. Please make sure to rate Sporgy 5 stars on iTunes and help to tell others about Sporgy by leaving a comment. Thank you for following Sporgy on Twitter at Sporgy Podcast. And, well, not on Instagram. Apparently our name is inappropriate. Follow Sporgy on Facebook to like and share Sporgy. If you would like to donate to Sporgy, you can click on the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net. If you use Amazon.com, please click and bookmark the Amazon link at ChristopherMedia.net. It's not going to cost you any extra money, and you will help to support Sporgy. And we got a new, it's a new affiliate, not necessarily a sponsor, but a new affiliate sponsor. They told me they trust me with the copy. I haven't written it yet, but we'll fly by the seat of my pants for this one. It's BroBasket.com. It's pretty much like, hey, guys, eventually you'll have to send a gift to another guy for something. Like, I don't know, you get a job or something. I don't know. It's like booze and shit. It's like they got craft beer baskets. They got like a scotch I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, hey, man, your brother. What do you get him for Christmas or his birthday?
Exactly. You got Father's Day coming up.
You're not buying him clothes. You're not going, hey, Dad, I bought you some underwear.
Yeah, hey, Dad. How about socks? Would you like some of those?
Yeah, how about a fucking tie? Who's had to wear a tie to work, since forever? So, no. Buy him a basket full of booze. Hey, you get some good stories and some cirrhosis out of it.
Here we go. I'm on the website. Let's look what they got real quick. Oh, I see. Right on the front page. He has enough socks and ties. Oh, look. There's a California coffee and wine box. Oh, corporate gifts. It's gifts for dudes. You're going to have to get a gift for a dude at some point. They got a California craft sampler. They got a fucking Viva La Tequila. All right. They got a box here. It's got a bunch of Patron and a couple Coronas in it. All right. The ultimate gift for men. It looks like a big old steel bucket with like 12-pack of assorted IPAs. I see some Lagunitas and Sierra Nevada. The Hophead, the IPA gift basket, the Junior Executive gift basket. What's it got? It's got like coffee. Oh, and some Johnny Walker Black Label. I mean, these are some serious dude-related gifts here.
Yes, sir.
Some Tito's handmade vodka. All right. Oh, they got a Jack and Coke gift set. Oh, Scotch and cigars, Irish Car Bomb gift basket, craft beer tasting kit. I mean, this is some real 1%er shit right here. It's a Coors Light. I mean, all right, you're getting the picture. Oh, they got one craft beer tasting kit where comes a bunch of glasses, a bunch of different craft beers. Check at thebrobasket.com. By the time this is posted, there should be a link on ChristopherMedia.net, thebrobasket.com. That's all I got for you right now. I'll have copy written by next week, but check that shit out. Help us out. Another thing doesn't cost you extra. Just click through at ChristopherMedia.net. All right, Rich, we will do this again next week. Thanks to everybody who has downloaded once again. What have I seen? Utah, Washington, California, Ohio, Michigan. I mean, it's for one show. Thank you.
Definitely.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
All right, later, guys.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and